God is a primal reality in the spirit world. God is the source of truth in the mind's spheres. God overshadows all throughout the material realms. To all created intelligences, God is a personality. And to the universe of universes, He is the first source and center of eternal reality. God is neither man-like nor machine-like. The first Father is universal spirit, eternal truth, infinite reality, and Father personality. The eternal God is infinitely more than reality idealized or the universe personalized. God is not simply the supreme desire of man, the mortal quest objectified. Neither is God merely a concept, the power potential of righteousness. The universal Father is not a synonym for nature, neither is He natural law personified. God is a transcendent reality, not merely man's traditional concept of supreme values. God is not a psychological focalized of spiritual meanings, neither is He the noblest work of man. God may be any or all of these concepts in the minds of men, but He is more. He is a saving person and a loving Father to all who enjoy spiritual peace on earth and who crave to experience personality, survival, in death. The actuality of the existence of God is demonstrated in human experience by the indwelling of the divine presence, the spirit monitor sent from paradise to live in the mortal mind of man and there to assist in evolving the immortal soul of eternal survival. The presence of this divine adjuster in the human mind is disclosed by three experiential phenomena. Number one, the intellectual capacity for knowing God, consciousness. Two, the spiritual urge to find God, seeking. Three, the personality craving to be like God, the wholehearted desire to do the Father's will. The existence of God can never be proved by scientific experiment or by the pure reason of logical deduction. God can be realized only in the realms of human experience. Nevertheless, the true concept of the reality of God is reasonable to logic, plausible to philosophy, essential to religion, and indispensable to any hope of personality survival. Those who know God have experienced the fact of His presence. Such God knowing mortals hold in their personal experience the only positive proof of the existence of the living God, which one human being can offer to another. The existence of God is utterly beyond all possibility of demonstration except for the contact between the God consciousness of the human mind and the God presence of the thought adjuster that indwells the mortal intellect and is bestowed upon men as the free gift of the universal Father. In theory, you may think of God as the creator, and He is the personal creator of paradise and the central universe of perfection. But the universes of time and space are all created and organized by the paradise corpse of the Creator's sons. The universal Father is not the personal creator of the local universe of Nebadon. The universe in which you live is the creation of His son Michael, though the Father does not personally create the evolutionary universes. He does not control them in many of their universal relationships and in certain of their manifestations of physical, mental, and spiritual energies. God the Father is the personal creator of the paradise universe and, in association with the eternal Son, the creator of all other personal universe creators. As a physical controller in the material universe of universes, the first source and center functions in the patterns of the eternal Isle of Paradise. And though this absolute gravity center, the eternal God, exercises cosmic control of the physical level equally in the center or central universe and throughout the universe of universes. As mind, God functions in the deity of the infinite spirit. As spirit, God manifests in the person of the eternal Son and in the persons of the divine children of the eternal Son. This interrelation of the first source and center with the coordinate persons and absolutes of paradise does not in the least preclude the direct personal action of the universal Father throughout all creation. and on all levels thereof. Through the presence of this fragmentized spirit, the Creator Father maintains immediate contact with the creature, children, and His created universe. God is spirit. He is the universal spiritual presence. The universal Father is an infinite spiritual reality. He is the sovereign, eternal, immortal, invisible, and only true God. Even though you are the offspring of God, you ought not to think that the Father is like yourselves in form and physique, because you are said to be created in His image, indwelt by mystery monitors, dispatched from the central abode in His eternal presence. Spirit beings are real, notwithstanding they are invisible to human eyes, even though they have not flesh and blood. Said the seer of old, Lo, he goes by me, and I see him not. He passes on also, but I perceive him not. We may constantly observe the works of God. We may be highly conscious of the material evidences of his majestic conduct, but rarely may we gaze upon the visible manifestation of his divinity, not even to behold the presence of his delegated spirit of human indwelling. The universal Father was not invisible because he is hiding himself away from the lowly creatures of materialistic handicaps and limited spiritual endowments. The situation rather is, you cannot see my face, for no mortal can see me and live. No material man could behold, or could behold, the Spirit God and preserve his mortal existence. The glory of the spiritual brilliance of the divine personality presence is impossible of approach by the lower groups of spiritual beings, or by any order of material personalities. The spiritual luminosity of the Father's personal presence is a light which no mortal man can approach, which no material creature has seen or can see. But it is not necessary to see God with the eyes of the flesh in order to discern Him by the faith vision of the spiritualized mind. The spirit nature of the universal Father is shared fully in His coexistent self, the eternal Son of Paradise. Both the Father and the Son in like manner share the universal and eternal Spirit fully and unreservedly, with their conjoint personality, coordinate, the infinite Spirit. God's Spirit is in and of Himself absolute. In the Son, it is unqualified. In the Spirit, universal, and in and by all of them, infinite. God is the universal spirit. God is the universal person. The supreme personal reality of the finite creation is spirit. The ultimate reality of the personal cosmos is absonite spirit. Only the levels of infinity are absolute, and only on such levels is there finality of oneness between matter, mind, and spirit. In the universes, God the Father is, in potential, the over-controller of matter, mind, and spirit. Only by means of his far-flung personality circuit does God deal directly with the personalities of his vast creation of will creatures. But he is contactable outside of paradise. Only in these presences of his fragmented entities, the will of God abroad in the universes. This paradise spirit that indwells the minds of the mortals of time and there fosters the evolution of the immortal soul of the surviving creature is of nature and divinity of the universal Father. But the minds of such evolutionary creatures originate in the local universes and must gain divine perfection by achieving those experiential transformations of spiritual attainment which are the inevitable result of a creature's choosing to do the will of the Father in heaven. In the inner experience of man, mind is joined to matter. Such matter-linked minds cannot survive mortal death. The technique of survival is embraced in those adjustments of the human will and those transformations in the mortal mind whereby such a God-conscious intellect gradually becomes spirit taught and eventually spirit-led. This evolution of human mind from matter association to spirit union results in the transmutation of the potentially spirit phases of mind subservient to matter, or the mortal mind into the morontia realities of the immortal soul. Mortal mind subservient to matter is destined to become increasingly material and consequently to suffer eventual personality extinction. Mind yielded to spirit is destined to become increasingly spiritual and ultimately to achieve oneness with the surviving and guiding divine spirit, and in this way to attain survival and eternity of personality existence. I come forth from I come forth from the eternal, and I have repeatedly returned to the presence of the universal Father. I know of the actuality and personality of the first source and center, the eternal and universal Father. I know that while the great God is absolute, eternal, and infinite, he is also good, divine, and gracious. I know the truth of the great declarations. God is spirit, and God is love. And these two attributes are most completely revealed to the universe in the eternal Son.